Howdy. We are not in the talk tent, which means that the planes flying overhead are going to be very loud right now, I guess. Because a plane flies over my house every 10 minutes on average at 700 feet. It's getting to a point where I'm actually considering buying weapons to shoot them down because they're not supposed to be flying that low legally. And hey, you want to come try and get your drone? What's supposed to be flying there, was it? Yeah, it's just got in the range of my rifle. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway. Chewy. That's what we're going to call him. I don't want to say his real name. I'll spell it, but I won't say it. Chuihuhui. I don't care how you pronounce that, and I'm not going to try. We used to just call him Chihuahua because no one could pronounce that stupid name. But eventually he got a nickname from Luyu, Chewy. And I'm sure he hated that nickname, which is why I will continue to call him that, Chewy. So, this story begins when my paladin's level 33. Me and Telwyn. We didn't want to LFG anymore. I was tired of LFGing on Thief. He spent a year and a half getting Samurai to 75. And so he's playing Bard, and I decided I'm going to play Paladin. And we're on level 33. We're both 33. We go to Eastern Altepa, fight some spiders. We have a grand old time, and it's like, hey, we should just EXP together from now on, dude. I really like having a Paladin tank. I got so sick of ninja tanks getting my Samurai to 75 because, oh my gosh, they would cancel Protect or cancel Haste, and they won't knee cancel correctly, and then they have no shadows, and they get hit by Smite of Rage for 1400 damage, and then they die. Don't like ninjas as tanks for the most part. Now, if you're going to fight mobs that are only like 7 to 8 levels above you, ninja all day, because then their evasion actually works perfectly. You're trying to fight these 11, 12, 13 levels above you, which is what we used to do back then. Ninja sucks. I don't care what anybody says. Ninja sucks at that. I had ninja at 75, okay? I had good gear, okay? It's not fun. I would much rather do the Japanese party method of chaining VTs and low ITs as a ninja tank. I mean, I prefer to do that as a paladin too, but with ninja, the odds of double crit heavy weapon skill slaying them instantly is substantially higher. So we start going with that, and after like 3 days, we're like level 43. And that's when we picked up Muria, a red mage, Mithra red mage. It looked exactly like Eliana Chen, actually. Tiniest little Mithra, white hair with the 6 spiked bangs coming out to either side. And I loved Muria. He was so awesome, dude. I never did not have refresh. He refreshed me more than himself, which was just beautiful. We also picked up a Taro Black Mage from Solaris. I don't remember their name. Unfortunately, they didn't talk very much, so don't have very many memories of them, and just kind of forgot their name. Sorry, bro. There wasn't anything wrong with him. I just don't remember him. So by this point, level 45, we are backline red mage, black mage, bard, and a paladin. So now we just pick up 2 damage dealers and we go. Beautiful. It's so easy to just find 2 skill chainers, right? And as we're approaching level 50, Nunuo hits us up and he's like, hey, my cousin's been a level 50 monk for 2 months and he hasn't gotten a party invite and he's about to quit the game. When you guys get to level 50, would you mind inviting him even just once, just so he doesn't quit the game? I would really appreciate that. And Nunuo was a bro. I got a video about him on here. I went to his dorm at his university to go do Limbus with him on his spare laptop while I was on vacation in San Diego. Nunuo is a bro. So when he said that his cousin needed some help, it's like, if you're Nunuo's cousin, then for sure, bro. And you have to understand how big of a deal that was, because nobody invited Monk back then. Monk was desired even less than Dragoon on retail. Primarily simply because they couldn't make distortion. That was the only thing anyone cared about back then. Well, I mean, they could at 60 plus with Howling Fist, but before that, they could only make fusion with Raging Fist and combo, so nobody wanted them. Backhand blow and 1-inch punch did like 50 damage and no one used them, so their skill chain properties were kind of irrelevant. So we invite him. His gear is pretty good, because he had 2 months to farm, so his gear better be pretty good. And he's like the first damage dealer that I'm actually having trouble holding hate against as Paladin. Made me realize that, what I'm doing wrong, I'm curing myself between pulls. I need to stop doing that. I should just wait. And then after I flash, pop a cure 3 and then 2 cure 2s on myself. Now I have all the hate from using up all that MP. Using it outside of battle, I'm just healing myself, and I'm not going to be able to hold hate against this insane monk who's not missing. Things started being a little smoother then, after I learned and started telling people, like, yo, just keep a regen on me. Don't heal me to full between pulls. I need to do a cure 3 and 2 cure 2s on myself with my flash invoke to have some initial aggro, because Chewy's crazy. We keep going, get to like we got to 52 pretty quickly. And it's time to start doing our first AF quest. And Telwyn is more than happy to get on his 75 Samurai to chew our AF quests out, which is really fun when you have your buddy's like, yes, I am the bard. And then he's just like, I am the Godzilla Slayer. I end things. I'll never forget over how cool Telwyn was busting out on his 75, killing all that stuff for us. It was really fun. I think he was using an Onimaru back then, because Hagen didn't even exist back then, actually. I think Onimaru... Did Onimaru exist back then? I think it did. I might be wrong. But I swear he had a blue katana. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I started to notice, though, was that Chewy wasn't showing up with anyone else's AF. He was there for his. But he never showed up for anyone else's. Little 53. We pick up. That's when Luyu joins us, Mithra Thief. She had the. I'm going to psychologically profile people here, just FYI. The hair model that Chewy had, that was the same model that Neko Tomoyo had. But Luyu, she had the same hair model as, oh gosh, who's another person who had that hair model? Reality had the same hair, the brown hair that's kind of bundled up in the back and has like a ribbon kind of haphazardly tied around it. That hair. In my experience, Mithras that have that bundled up hair in the back, they're usually pretty nice people, but they're highly impressionable people as well. Reality was certainly highly impressionable, wasn't he? Yikes. But Luyu, she was prone to absorbing other people's negativity and making it deeply personal, which is a bad thing to do on this game. So, are you serious? I have to pause because there's garbage coming. Goodness gracious me. Garbage trucks and street sweepers and drones flying overhead. Pretty noisy for the morning over here. Anyway, Luyu is a very cool person in my opinion. She's Burmese. English is her third language. She speaks very strange English, but I always found it kind of charming and cute, I guess. That was... Let me see. No, it was level 55, actually. We EXP'd for a little bit. By that point, we're a 6-man static, We got Black Mage, Red Mage, Bard, Paladin, Thief, Monk. Now it becomes expedient that we need to start picking days that we're going to EXP on. It's not just, is everyone on, let's go find 2 DDs. It's, okay, there's 6 of us, we need to have a standard time for this. So we decide Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. PST gather time. Usually get into the camp and start pulling by about 6 o'clock. That's how we got things set up. And around level 55, we were in Boyata Tree fighting robber crabs. Muria hits us up with the most shocking and hilarious reason I still ever heard for why someone has to suddenly leave and log off. And, oh, sorry, party's over, I gotta go. We're fighting in the chain 3, and toward the end of it, I don't have refresh anymore, which tells me something's wrong. I always have refresh. Muria never lets me go without refresh. He's so on top of that. And then we pull the chain 4, and he's still sitting. We finish out the chain 4, and we're just like, okay, hold up. What's wrong? Muria finally talks in party chat, and he says, guys, I am so seriously sorry. I absolutely have to log off, like, right now. I'm really sorry. And most people are understandably upset. You know, it's like, well, what's up? Are you okay, man? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, but I have to go bail my grandma out of jail again. And I'm just like, again? What? And he's like, yeah, she got stung by the cops trying to slang coke again, so gotta go bail her out of jail. And I'm just like, wow, you're a dutiful grandson, and that's fine, bro. Like, that's the funniest dang thing I've ever heard. You do you, bro. Hope everything goes all right. And then when we decided to EXP the next day, on Friday, I started to notice something's a little different. I wasn't sure what it was. But I'll just tell you now, the difference was that Luyu wasn't talking in party chat anymore. Luyu was always kind of the one that started the conversations, and when she wasn't talking anymore, there wasn't really a lot of convo going on in the party anymore. It wasn't quite as fun. Around level 57, I'm walking through Battalia Downs when Luyu sends me a tell. This wasn't one of our EXP days, so, you know, she just like sends me a random tell. And my heart sinks the second I read what's on screen, and it sinks so fast that it splits in two and is in two halves in my ankles when I see that she says, I don't think I can play this game anymore. I think it's bad for my mental health. And I'm just like, if it's bad for your mental health, then it's not a question, right? It's not a, I don't know if I can play or not. If your mental health is having problems, don't, please, I'll hate to see you go, but I don't want you to, I don't want that, okay? And she's just telling me, it's like, yeah, I feel like most people in this game just care about your gears. Unnecessary pluralization that she used, that she did often, which I always found cute. And she is not wrong about that. The thing is that her gear was amazing. Like, blue border dex rings, scorpion harness +1. The second she dinged 57, she wasn't under-geared. That's why it was so weird to me. You know, she TP'd in sniper +1s, but, you know, she had weapon skill in the blue border dex rings. Like, she was a good thief, man. And, you know, she's just saying, like, you know, one day we're not all going to be EXPing together forever, and we're going to end up in different endgame shells, and the thought that I'm going to have to be in shell with people that don't care about me, that they only care about my gears. I can't look forward to that, and I just don't want to play anymore. And I was like, hell, like, I get that. I understand that. People are that way on this game quite a bit. And if that's messing with you, then you got to just stop playing that, I guess. Oh, here comes the street sweeper again. How fun. I wouldn't be so irritated by this if they would come at the time they're supposed to, but whatever. And they sweep the streets around here in a really bizarre pattern that I can never predict. Anyway, Luyu quits. She gives me one of her Corsair's knives, and I held on to it forever. It was the Luyu's knife. I didn't use it forever, but I kept it in my storage. Just kind of a memento, you know? So, I apologized to her even because I was like, I'm pretty sure the first time you joined our EXP party, I was like, whoa, blue border Dex ring thief. Like, I'm sorry if I made you feel that way. And she just says, no, you, Muria, and Telwyn never made me feel that way. Do you notice a name I didn't mention? I didn't notice it at first because I was so emotionally upset. But yeah, a red flag should have gone off immediately. But it only took 10 minutes for it to do so. As I'm very bummed and upset about this, talking in Link Shell chat about how, oh man, our static thief quit. I'm really sad about this. And Telwyn's really the only one who's like, yeah, it makes sense to be sad about it. It was a friend that we played the game with, and you don't get to play with them anymore. It's no different than having a friend go off to college or something. You don't know if you're ever going to see them again in real life. I always appreciated Telwyn comforting me on the matter, because nobody else did. More to the point was that right after that is when Chewy said, yeah, well, whatever, we can get a better damage dealer that I can skill chain with. Okay, unnecessary causticity, my friend. Not a very nice thing to say about the thief who helped you get your new fang with their treasure hunter. And Luyu is also the person who claimed Morbulger. There was like 15 people in that room, and I don't really know how she did it. Maybe because of where she lived in the world, she was closer to the servers in Japan, but she claimed that Morbulger with an acid bolt, of all things. So I was, at that point, I'm just kind of like, Chewy, you're kind of a dick, aren't you? Don't really appreciate it when people help you out with things, do you? And true to his nature, up until this point, and we get to level 58, he still has not helped or joined anyone else with their AF quests. He has not helped anyone with any of that still. But at this point, it's like you can't just kick someone out of the static party that they've been in for all these levels, so I guess I just have to deal with it, right? Telwyn was, because Telwyn and I were bros. We were even talking. It's like, yeah, Chewy's kind of being a dick lately. He's not very fun to EXP with. He's incredibly demanding about things and forceful about, making people do things that are kind of suboptimal just so he can look better and do more damage. We're talking about a guy who spammed boost, which is on a 15-second cooldown on retail. Like, boost works differently here on Horizons. It's a 30-second cooldown, and it gives you a pretty nasty chunk of attack up. On retail, it was a 15-second cooldown, and I think it was only 2.5% attack up per boost. It also generated a lot of enmity. Did you know that on a 15-second cooldown, if you're spamming boost, it's pretty much like you're spamming provoke? Well, maybe not provoke, but I mean, I think one boost was a quarter of the strength of provoke. So yeah, so every 30 seconds you're doing half a provoke by spamming boost every 15 seconds. More to the point, you have a bard in the party, sushi doesn't exist, and you're eating meat chief kebabs. The 2.5% attack you're getting out of boost isn't doing anything. You kind of already have so much attack that you're not going to do more damage, which was often the case. I think maybe 2 or 3 times I saw him go from 35 to 42 a fist, but most of the time, even boosting, oh, you did 30 on that fist instead of 35, which you did before you boosted. It doesn't really do that much. You don't need to do it. We have a bard. And he would pull hate, because again, he was pretty geared. And we had a bard. So whenever he would pull aggro with Raging Fists, he thought it would be funny to just, I'm going to use Berserk and Counter Stance and have 0 defense and take Sickle Slash for 1400 damage and have red HP. And now the Black Mage, Red Mage, Bard, and Paladin have to be dropping Cure 3s and 4s on me, and I'm chewing up all the MP. Haha, that's funny. me, Telwin, and Muria would keep telling him, like, dude, stop using boost. It's messing up our MP pool. Stop. He would just keep doing it. He didn't care. It was all about him. And just to throw this out there. Again, we didn't have a white mage in the party, which it's fine to not have a white mage. You can do things just fine without a white mage. But maybe you shouldn't go to the camps that necessitate white mage if you don't have one. Like when he kind of forced us to go fight the white lizards in Den of Rancor when we didn't have access to Stona. I know, not the biggest deal. Baleful Gaze takes 25 years to go off and it's easy to dodge. It just wasn't fun. This thought of, oh cool, I can get petrified for 3 minutes and ruin the party's EXP if I don't turn away. Because I actually care about that. But eventually... yeah, no, it was around that same level. I pity invited a Taro Dragoon for a Steel Shell party. I believe it was 67. And he was doing 9 damage with a Bard. His gear was terrible. Not even NQ Vit rings for jumps. Just nothing, dude. I think he had NQ level 36 Dex rings at 67. Bro, come on. Even just an NQ sniper, dude. Come on, seriously? Accuracy is important. Just your entire purpose is a melee. You need to focus on that. But Chewie was so pissed off about that he demanded that I'm the one who's allowed to invite people now. You invite these pity party people and it just ruins our EXP per hour. And I'm like, it's funny that you care about EXP per hour now after you've been ruining it for the last 30 levels. You know? Maybe not 30 levels, but whatever. And just not having fun on the static anymore. I don't tell anyone that, mind you, because that would just bring people down. But it's around level 73. By May, I think we were 10,000 EXP in 73, or at least I was. I was in Battalion Downs, power leveling a Link Shell party. Who was fighting goblins and pulling the occasional crab at the southern entrance to Eldamy Necropolis. 5-minute walk back to Juneau from there. So, you know, I tell everyone, like, yo, I'll be in Juneau in 5 minutes. I was just out here power leveling this Link Shell party. I'll be there in a minute. Right after I passed through the gates that lead to the Bazaar Festival in Battalion Downs. Because on Leviathan, that's where our Bazaar Festival was. It wasn't in Rolandberry Field like it was in some other servers. Like, I know on Lakshmi, it was in Rolandberry Fields, and then when Lakshmi and Leviathan combined, I know some people were just like, why is everyone bazaring out here? This isn't the zone you do this in. Oh, here comes the street sweeper again. And right as I pass through the gate, as I am, you know, maybe 20 seconds away from zoning into Juneau, I get 2 tells at the same time. One of them's from Chewie, one of them's from Telwin. Chewie tells me, go ahead and keep power leveling on those people out there, I guess. And Telwin says Chewie is acting really weird and I don't know what's going on. So I respond to Chewie first. And I'm like, well, I'm about to zone into Juneau. And then I tell Telwin, and I'm like, why? What's he doing? What's he saying? And then Chewie responds and is like, no, you don't need to bother. We already invited another paladin. Just go power level those people because it matters to you so much. And I'm just like, excuse me? I am 1 minute late to our gather time, 5:30. We start at 6. Like, if I have to pick up a Telehala to choco out to King Ranpare's tomb, that's not a big deal. So I was very upset by that, and Telwin is just telling me, like, I don't know, Chewie's saying that you don't want to EXP with us anymore, and I'm like, excuse me? I never said that. What the hell is he talking about? And yeah, I may have felt that way, but I never said that or expressed that to anybody. But at the same time, part of me was just like, oh, cool, well, I guess I'll just go do whatever I want then today. And I'll just join you guys tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and then I'm in Juneau, and everyone's already in a party before I can invite them. Chewy's the party leader, and I'm like, yo, I'm on. Let's go to KRT. And he's like, no, you're not allowed in the static party anymore because you disrespected people's time. And I'm like, disrespected people's time? I was a minute late, dude. Did you forget about the time Yuria had to go just abscond 20 minutes into the party to go bail his grandma out of jail? We didn't kick him out of the static over that, so what the absolute F, bro? He didn't even respond to me. And at that point, I'm like, okay, great. I guess I'm kicked out of the static party. He didn't really express that to anyone in the static party. He just made them think I didn't want to party with them anymore and started making things up, and that I was talking crap about them and that I was dissatisfied with the way everyone was playing. And it's like, none of that was true. And Telwyn is relaying all this to me, and I'm telling him, like, dude, I don't feel that way about any of these people. I feel that way about him and none of the other people. What the hell? And Telwyn is just like, dude, I don't know. Like, look, when we get to 75, I'll just tell people that they have to invite you too. Like, I don't know what else to do at this point. And I was a little hurt by that, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, well, maybe you and me can just go back to the way we used to be with just you and me, and then we pick up other people. We'll just say to ask Muria and the Black Mage to join us and just abandon him instead, right? I wanted to say that, but I was hurt, and I just shrunk back into myself for about 2 hours. Then it became rage and anger. I joined every skillet party I could find. I helped every single person I possibly could with every AF key they needed. Everything that Chewy wouldn't do, that's all I did. I got so much spill over EXP from doing those sorts of things, I hit 75 before they did. Because they only EXP'd on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I joined every single party 24 hours a day. So I hit 75 before they did. And then, within the same hour that the static party concludes, that I am not allowed to be in anymore, I think Chewy ended up about 10, 12,000 EXP into 75 or so to help the Black Mage. She was the last one who needed to get to 75. And I'm surprised he even so much as did that, to be honest, because then he dropped his social pearl and didn't talk to anyone anymore. Just abandoned everyone that helped him get his sub-job items, invited him to a static party, helped him get all his AF gear, helped him get Azure and Fists, everything. People that helped him get his purple and brown belt quest done. He just dropped his pearl and didn't talk to anyone anymore. After that, obviously, Telwyn and Muria, they both sent me tells on the same day to the effect of, Val, I'm so sorry. I was so caught up in the frenzy of getting 75. It was so close, and I just wanted it so bad, and I made the excuse that we can just invite you, and we shouldn't have tolerated that. I'm really sorry, dude. And I was like, you know what, I understand. I know what trying to get 75 does to people in this game. It's cool, bro. You apologized. I accept your apology. Let's move on from it, all right? I love you too much to want to be mad at you, so it's fine. I don't even want to think about being mad at you, dude. And then a month passes, and for some reason, I'm still just mad about it. I search Chewy, find him in V Luganon Palace, maybe fighting Kieran, maybe going after Ola Grande, I don't know. But completely unprovoked, I sent him a tell, and I told him, hey, I hope every single cell in your body turns into cancer, but I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference, would you? So we exchanged some very sharp words with each other for quite a while, obviously. And, oh, hello there. Sorry, it's windy and the lighter's not working. It sucks. Well, Um, in the midst of this heated conversation, he just kind of randomly pops off with something to the effect of, I couldn't wait to get you out of that static party. It bothers me that I had to wait till level 73 to kick you out of it. And I'm just like, it wasn't your static party to do that with, frankly. By the way, Telwyn didn't want you in that static party, and neither did I. Just FYI, I just want you to know that. And then he just kind of goes off on this tirade. And I still don't know where the hell all this hate and rage is coming from. And I asked him, like, dude, what the hell is your problem? And his response is, LOL, me? The problem comes from you. And I'm like, and how do you figure that? And he says, you're the problem with the internet. Because you talk to women like they're equals. That's why I wanted to kick you out of that party for so long. That's why I don't like you. Wow. Number one, I was shocked that another human being actually said that and meant it. But I was further shocked that that was apparently grounds for him to hate me. The person that advocated for him joining our static in the first place, because again, Telwyn didn't want a monk. Funny. That seems to be a thing that happens in my life, is I advocate for people and no one else wants them around. Lee, I know you hate watch my videos. Screw you too. I'm the only one who advocated for you to live in my house. No one else here wanted you living in this house. But yet you took all your hatred and aggression out on me, the only one who was in your corner. Chewy, same thing. It's kind of why it didn't bother me as much, because someone has already done this to me. And at that point, I asked him, it's like, you're the reason Luyu stopped talking in our static party, and you're the reason she quit, aren't you? And he's just like, oh yeah, that bitch? Yeah, I put her in her place. Excuse me? Oh my gosh. So all the negativity and the fury and the aggression at that point, like, I just blacklisted him. Because at that point, I was going to say something that was going to get me thrown into Morty in jail. I'm surprised it didn't already at that point. But I was like, fine, you're going to be the 5th person I've ever blacklisted on this game then. Because you are just the most vitriolic, toxic, disgusting, revolting excuse for a human being I've ever encountered. So, there's the story of that guy. A completely deranged, sexist user. I relayed these things to Nunuo, his cousin, who was also shocked that he, just left the link shell and wasn't even talking to him anymore. And I asked Nunuo, like, dude, what is Chewy's deal? Why is he such a dick? And he's just like, I don't know. He didn't always used to be this way. He changed after this vacation he took. And I was like, when was that? And he's like, he got back from it like maybe 6 months or so before he started playing this game. He went on a vacation to the Middle East, and then when he came back, he just seemed to have like this new vim and vigor that he never had before, and we were just all happy to see him being positive and having enthusiasm for things. But after a couple months, he started like saying some pretty weird things, and I'm like, yeah, do you want to know what he just told me? So I relayed that to him, and he's just like, me and my dad had always kind of suspected that was probably what happened, that he ended up getting indoctrinated by radical Islamic extremists. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to mention in the midst of having to pause the video 3,000 times. One of the things that he said that is just so horrible, in my opinion, is that he said women shouldn't be allowed to talk on the internet. That the internet should be gender locked, and only men should be allowed to talk on the internet. Women shouldn't be allowed to talk in chat rooms or post comments or They shouldn't even be allowed to write code that's accessed by the public. Women should not be allowed to create anything on the internet. So, I mean, I guess there you go. I don't know what else to say. This is literally the worst person I've ever had to experience interactions with in any capacity. Just, I started to feel recently that if I didn't make a video about this, I would actually start to disbelieve it happened, because if someone were to just tell me this story, I probably wouldn't believe that this person could be that horrible. But there you go. Believe what you want. I have felt dirty for a long time over the fact that I helped a person like that get to level 75. And I think that's part of why I was so drawn to come back here to Horizon to play Paladin here. In the intervening years between when I stopped playing retail and started to play here on Horizon, I never played on any other private server, I would occasionally have dreams about not just playing Final Fantasy XI, but specifically tanking as Paladin in an EXP party. That was always what it was about. These days, and I guess I'm starting to realize that it was kind of similar to the PTSD and influenced dreams that I have about the military and basic training, is that I want to go back and correct something type of dream. Because in my mind, I'm still dissatisfied. I'm still irritated and vexed and frustrated with how that all played out and how it all went down, and the fact that I feel deeply personally responsible for that piece of work continuing to play this game in the first place when he was going to quit if he didn't get an invite. So I'm pretty much the reason that he continued to play, and I guess it's always kind of haunted me a little bit. And that's why I'm playing it again here. It's part of why it matters so much to me. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. But be thankful that you're not him. If at any time you ever may think to yourself, maybe I'm not a very good person, just tell yourself, at least I'm not Chewy. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time. God bless.